Hello Star Trek fans and welcome back to the channel and another Star Trek Fleet Command video. So today we're going to take a first brief look at the new R&D and Galaxy Research update, and these are my first impressions and personal opinions so far. And let's start by taking a look at the most obvious and the biggest change, which is the new Galaxy tree. So here it is, the new Galaxy tree, offering us a wide array of different options. I cannot access them all yet, I'm simply not level enough. I've recently turned level 25, but I'll offer my opinions on the newest one. So, warp technology. So this increases warp speed for all new ships. Goes from level 1 all the way to level 10. And that offers a 75% increase to warp speed for every single ship you own. I know a lot of the community were hoping that would be warp range. It would be nice if we could get some extra range on our envoys. Now, before anyone points out, yes, you can put Scotty on an envoy, but if you want to send 1 or 2 ships, specifically miners, if you're not currently lucky enough to have the Horizon or above, you can't currently do that. So it would have been nice to see envoys go up to at least, let's say, warp 25, 27, so you could get to those little bit further systems without having to invest massively in grade 3 ships. But it is what it is. There you go. Now, another thing that I find really good is this Parsteel miner. So, of course, I've got level 4, which currently gives me a 50% increase on my Parsteel mining. And that doesn't include updates to your individual ships, and specifically if you have Helvia, I believe she is a Parsteel miner with, I think it's either 40 or 60% increase, but at level 15 you can get a 300% increase. Now, of course, level 15 is not going to be available until you get up into the really high 30s, but realistically speaking, that's when you need it the most. I know a lot of people argue that they need resources all the time, but even once you start getting to level 24, 25 and buildings start costing 6-7 million Parsteel, you need it more when you're higher level. Now let's take a look at the big one, Prime Officers. So Prime Officers promise to give you a 100% increase to the attack, defense and health of all officers. However, it does not say whether or not that is an increase to the base stats or whether it's an increase, a flat out increase to your officers as they go. So let's take a little bit further look about what I mean there. So currently my best officer as it stands at the moment is Kirk. His attack stat is 170, so with Prime would that increase to 340? Or would it, and let's take a look, I haven't upgraded Keensa. So, I haven't touched Keensa at all, so would it increase his attack, say, from 10 to 20, but it wouldn't apply to any other increases? There's nothing that suggests that it does or it doesn't. I can't afford to buy Prime Officers at the moment, so I can't answer that question. Maybe if somebody watching this video has Prime Officers, they could let us know in the comments down below whether it's an increase to the base stats like it is with Prime Hull and Prime Damage, or whether it's an increase to whatever you have at that time. Obviously, the other mining increases, swapping subjects briefly there, they go up to 2 rather than 300%. As does dilithium mining. Again, that's end game stuff. Realistically speaking, mid game you're looking anywhere between level 4 and level 8. So you're going to get a good increase, but just not that maximum one. Now, here's one that I really wanted to look at. Emergency defenses. Really confusing, and I don't quite understand what this does. So, the theory is a flat bonus to station defense stats in the first round of combat. Starts off at 300% and goes all the way up to 1000%. Shortly after the update went live, but after I had upgraded my station, I was attacked, so we've got a nice example of it here, or not, as the case may be. Now if you remember, it's for the first round only, so let's take a look at the numbers. So the fight starts as normal, so my Kumari officers activate there, his officers activate there. He's got a pretty good set. The officers on my North Star activate, giving morale. So my defense platform does 8,500 odd damage, but he only actually receives 690 odd. Another 8,000, another 8,500. But here's what we're interested in here. Let's wait for it to come back. So in round one, his Centurion does 69,087 damage to my Kumari. Now I appreciate that the update said, well, the ability said that the station gets a flat increase in defense of up to, in my case, 350%. So if we remember this number here in round one, in theory, it should be lower in round two. But that might not be the case. Let's see. So my North Star has a pop at him, as does my Kumari, as all of the defense platforms. So his Centurion does another 67,000 damage. Then my platforms do roughly the same amount of damage, so there's no difference to those. And that's round one over. So in round two we should see some difference. So again, all of my abilities activate. Damage is roughly the same, except this time the Centurion does a critical of 115,000 and depletes the shield on my Kumari. Here's what I'm really interested in here. So criticals aren't really that good for showing examples given the random nature of them, but here we can see his Centurion in round two does 69,000 damage to us. It also did 69,000 damage in the first round, which makes me wonder, where does the ability Emergency Procedures and a 350% flat increase come into play? Because I can't see numbers in this battle log that represent a 350% damage increase. So either the description of the ability is wrong, or the ability doesn't currently work. It's not clear. I mean, end of the day, I lost this battle. I didn't lose any resources, so it's not the end of the world. But it would be nice to understand how that ability is working, because it isn't explained as good as it could be. Now, the next set of updates, Parsteel, Tritanium and Dilithium Hunter all do exactly the same thing. They offer increased rewards from hostiles when you kill them. So for the ones that carry Tritanium and Dilithium, and you can use those in combination with officers to the effect of Shev, who gives, I believe, a 25% increase on hostiles, and it is currently bugged, so you do actually get it from players as well. You're not supposed to, but you do. So by upgrading this in combination with Shev and other similar officers, you can really up the amount of resources that you get from defeating hostiles. Next, so we've got Survey Security. So pretty self-explanatory. This increases the protected cargo of any survey ship by up to 75% once you get to level 5. Realistically speaking, most people are going to fall between level 1 and 3. So you're going to get a 40% increase. So your envoys are going to go from 10k up to, what would 40% be? About 14,000. Obviously more if you have to Pring and Joaquin, because they also increase your protected cargo. And it will be a godsend for the North Star, because we all know that the cargo capacity on the North Star absolutely sucks. After that, we've got repairs and repair costs. So again, if you have prime repairs and prime survey costs, I think it actually turns out at about 35% as opposed to the advertised 100%. But as I don't have them, I can't comment on them. But these, in combination with those, will drastically reduce your repair times and your repair costs. Now, granted, it's not quite the flat decrease that we wanted back with the Calm event, but there you have it. Then we're moving into a realm that I can't currently access because my level simply isn't good enough. But we've got station strategy, so increasing your station strength. Survey warp, again this is warp speed. It desperately needs to be changed from warp speed to warp range. We need to get those envoys out of neutral space. We need to mine in faction space with envoys. That would be epic. And again, more station stuff there. I can't currently access that. So Interceptor, Explorer and Battleship Shield regen. So as you know, after a battle, the shield on those particular craft do take quite some time, especially when you're hunting hostiles at a higher level than you. They are all the same and it goes up by 15%. Now, obviously we've got the swarm ones here. So if you have a Franklin, and once you start unlocking these, you can get massive decreases in defeating swarms. So let's stop flicking about and have a look. So swarm weak points. So the USS Franklin weapon damage is increased against swarm hostiles by 1000%. Holy shit. And it goes all the way up to 30,000% once you get to level 15. I didn't get the Franklin to start with because I genuinely didn't think it was worth it. I was level 23 when it came out. I already had a fairly decent backlist and there was simply no need for me to buy Franklin. However, as swarms are in the game to stay, it may be worth upgrading my Franklin once I start to unlock these items because, again, system targeting, so accuracy is increased, so they are interceptors. This is an explorer, so up to 70%. Jammer, this is removing their dodge, so interceptors' biggest thing, evasive interceptors, their dodge, so you're going to be able to reduce that by 50% by the end of it. And last but not least, your armor is increased by 10%. So of course, well, 10% at level 1 and 120% at level 10. So of course, armor is the thing that explorers have the least. Next one, pure interceptor, explorer and battleship. This is just making the parts for them cheaper. No argument with that. So let's have a look what the maximum is. Level 10 is 50%. Now, possibly one of the most controversial parts of the update is the segmentation of the refinery primes. Each one of them costing $99, 99 euros or £92. And the update is +1 batch when refining 3-star crystal, and the same repeats for gas and ore. I think that means you get 2 goes at it. Basically, it's like getting 2 refines in one. But as I don't have it, nor have I seen any footage of it working, I genuinely don't know. It would be nice to find out. Then we've got just a standard hull and a standard shield upgrade, making your ships much stronger. I'm a little bit disappointed to see those that far down the line, and the reason for that is as follows. It's making the strong stronger, making them more easy, making it easier for them to prey on the lower levels and the weaker. If anything, that needed to be way down the front to make the lower levels stronger to stand a chance against the higher levels. But in the end of the day, no matter where you put them, it's available to everyone, and the strong are going to get even stronger. So if we all upgrade together at the same time, then at least we stand a chance. Then we've got Federation Apprentice, so increase in Federation points and loot for defeating hostile for Federation, Klingon and Romulan. Fair enough. Advanced Training, that is the cheaper version of Prime Officers. Obviously this is going to give you a maximum bonus of 40% at level 10. So if, of course, you were to buy Prime Officers and started to upgrade this, you could potentially increase your officer stats by 140%. Again, I don't know whether that's flat increase on the base stats or the higher ones. I'm not going to go through that again. Pure Crystal improves the cost for any type of crystal upgrades to a maximum of 15%. Doesn't sound a lot, but once you start getting to the really high level tier ships, so level 8 Saladins, Enterprises and the like, 15% is going to make a massive difference. Exploit weak points, much the same as in the regular combat tree, it's just another version of it to bump your stats. Explorer Warp, so again, warp speed is further increased. Doesn't need to be speed, it needs to be range. And Weapon Refractor. All ship weapons do increased damage. Again, you can't unlock this until end game. Given its position within the tree, you're making the strong stronger. Now, the counter argument to that could be that when you get to level 39 in some of the missions and the enemies that you have to fight are level, battle strength 4 million, there is no ship in the game, even for endgame players that I am aware of, that can defeat a 4 million battle strength hostile ship. So maybe that's aimed at those. And then all of these are the same. I'll just go through Federation. So increases Federation points again. Federation Miner, so you more efficiently mine gas, and Pure Gas, so it improves the efficiency for gas on Federation ships. So again, for the likes of the Enterprise, the Intrepids, that is going to drastically lower the cost once you get there. So that is a research tree in a nutshell. Most of us are going to be stuck down this end of it, probably stuck about where I am. If you're lucky enough to be higher, then you can fill your boots with those. Now, the patch notes also said that, just help my colleagues out here, what are we going to get from this box? 500 titanium, thank you for that. The patch notes also said that, where is it? The daily rewards are going to be drastically increased sometime this week. So they have acknowledged that the vast majority of us that play the game, a lot of our interactions is around doing our dailies, and anything extra such as raiding is an additional task we do on top of that. But they said they're going to drastically increase Parsteel, Tritanium, Dilithium, ship parts, speed up tokens and repair tokens, and Latinum rewards. Now, in fairness to Scopely, I have over the last 24 hours received a lot more Latinum from both PvE loot chests and the free gifts. But in terms of dailies, which of course naturally I've done all of them, so you can't see them, I haven't seen any increase yet. But it did say this week, and specifically sometime this week. Perhaps they've just not got to it yet. Maybe the great outage of the 21st of August was them trying to add them and it went wrong. Now, there are a few other increases as well, specifically one that I found out today. So I am, and I'll demonstrate this here, hostile to both Klingon and Romulan. They both hate me. Fair enough. Not a problem with that. But until recently, systems like Nabrook, which were in Romulan space, but didn't have Romulan ships, so they were patrolled by these various smugglers. I could go into this system without being intercepted by a hostile trained fighter. So So I could send my mining ship there and not be bothered at all. And the same goes for this system here with Crystalline. I could get into this system without being harassed by trained Klingon fighters, because although it's in their space, the ships that patrol, going to prove me wrong, aren't you, pain in the ass? Well, until recently, you could get in there without getting harassed by the Klingons. Now, although I'm 2.5 minutes away, as soon as you enter these systems, you get your usual, we have orders to kill you, and then they send a ship towards you. Now that is brand new. Now, I don't know whether or not the way it used to work, it was a mistake where you didn't get intercepted in enemy territory, and they have simply fixed it, or whether they have changed their minds to decide that if it's in Romulan space, you get intercepted. It doesn't matter what system it is. Now the idea was to demonstrate it, but I didn't realise that the ship would take 2.5 minutes, and I've been playing the game long enough to know better. But there you go, we'll catch that when we get to it. And in terms of other changes, let's have a look. Faster mining and refining. Yep, I can personally testify that I have seen increases to my mining rates. So it used to take me 48 minutes to drain a 3,600 mining node. Those mining nodes that we all really hate on G3 gas. Oh well, these little diddlers. 48 minutes. That has now been reduced to 46 minutes. So I can personally attest to the fact that the mining rates have increased, which is a good news. The power steel mining, again, these 25k nodes used to take me just over 2 hours to drain in full. Now they take about 1 hour and 48 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. Here you go. So this is what I was talking about. So until recently, I could enter this system completely unharassed, as you saw there from the footage. I got a warning, and in not very long, I'm sure I will get a fighter to come and try and kill me. Gonna collect that reward. Thank you very much. Oh, a relocation token. Here we go. So here comes our trained fighter. He can't hurt us. But yeah, that didn't used to happen, so that is brand new. Okay, so that is a quick overview of all the changes that I have seen in game so far. More detailed videos will be coming out soon, where we break down and have a look at individual parts in more details. I am trying my hardest to get Scopely to donate me, shall we say, Prime officers. They're not having any of it at the moment, but I guess if I ask 1,000,000 times, they might say yes once. That's the plan, at least, anyway. But until then, I hope you've enjoyed the breakdown today. Thank you very much for watching the video, and I will see you guys in space.